Hey Kapil, I'm welcome you at my BIMS event talks.
Hi Nadia, it's good to be a part of this show.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see you. Uh, Please tell a bit about your experience. I know you have huge experience in events and marketing. Please
Yeah.
tell us about it.
Okay. I'm associated with events since 2005. Okay, it's around 17 years now. So I have been a part of expos, exhibitions, webinars, B2B events, B2B conferences. So far it's a good journey for me. And as I'm growing older with the events, I think new more and more new things are coming up. So it is good to be a part of this industry, which is very happening, which is very collaborative. And the most important thing that I like about events, it's more about people, that it helps you connect with people, it helps you understand them. Okay, so you may live in whichever parts of the world, but uh, more or less, the one thing that connects all around events is that the personal touch that people have when they meet in person, when they exchange ideas, when they network. Okay, be it from the perspective of business or networking or knowledge or any other any other objective. So it's good to be a part of this industry, and I would love to be I see that I try to be someone who can contribute little bit more to this industry.
Yeah, very cool. And you originally from India, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, and do you have any specifics in the events in India? As far as I know, there are lots of events in India.
Yes, see, when you look at India from the events perspective, see, events has always been the core part of Indian business industry. So, because we do have, all sorts of events, be it marketing, manufacturing, engineering, automotive, IT. Okay, so across the geography of India, you will have some of the event always going on. And as we are very diverse when it comes to our culture, similarly we are also very diverse when it comes to events. Okay, so India has always been a, a positive market and a front runner when it comes to events.
Hmm. Um, okay, and if you can, if you can tell about some differences between Indian and European events, what could it be?
See, if I have to differentiate between Indian events and the rest of the world events, the one thing that that I have noticed with the Indian events, because I have been in this industry for a longer time now. So one thing that I have noticed, especially with the events, Indian events, is that the content, okay,
Hmm.
the events content, okay, the way we treat, the way we have. Uh, uh, Nurtured our content is a little bit different from the other parts of the world. Okay, because the kind of format that we have in our events, okay, the kind of subjects that we tackle in our events, okay, is a little bit have a different flavor, right?
Hmm.
Even the kind of engagement, how we approach events engagement, how we approach overall events experience, I believe will be is a little bit different when it comes to European events. Okay, see,
Hmm.
I have myself have organized, produced, and conducted couple of events in the past. Okay, and my experience with the events audience, because I have dealt with majority of the Indian brands from different segments. So I can say that the one thing that I have noticed, that if your content is good,
Hmm.
okay, you will receive a good response. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one thing I think is very prominent in the Indian events industry, that we are very keen towards the events content that is going to be part of that whole event. So be it from the business point of view, be it from the the lead generation, so the kind of knowledge that we would like to nurture, or we would like to impart to others is always the key.
Mm-hmm. And how to make content good? What do you think?
See, if I have to respond this on my personal level, I would say that I have, uh, uh, as an organizer. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I have executed and produced a couple of events in the past. Okay, so one thing that I have noticed when it comes to the content is that uh, your content has to be designed, presented, and nurtured, keeping your audience in mind, right? So basically, the event organizers will always have to keep in mind, the content that is going to be consumed by the attendees, right? So it can be from from the any perspective, because see, every attendee or every person who is going to be there have a different kind of objective from that particular event, right? So some people attain from business, some people attain for leads, some people attain for contact, some people attain for knowledge, some people attain to achieve a career growth. Okay, so the organizers will have to always keep in mind that to see how they can nurture, how they can separate, and how they can segregate content to the people, so it doesn't get bored. Okay, and it always have the positive impact on the people who are attending. So I'll give you an example. So
Mm-hmm.
when I did my events, okay, so I have always kept in mind that I saw that I segmented and I bucketed my events content in different sections. So so that every section is well attended, every section is well appreciated, and every section is well presented. So there shouldn't be any overlapping of the content when it comes to time, when it comes to presentation, when it comes to the tonality of your events. So it becomes very important for an organizer to see that the content has to be very good.
Yeah, makes sense. And how do you think? I forgot my word. Sorry. Yeah, I wanted to ask, how can I learn what my audience wants? What participants would be interested in? How can I learn it?
See, if you have to be, if you want to know, what your audience wants, or how good your content can be appreciated and received by the audience. One thing has to be, you have to be very careful that whatever you are doing in your pre-event engagement activities has to be very relevant to your target audience. Okay, so be it from the marketing perspective, be it from the engagement perspective, be it from the knowledge perspective. You choose your platforms very carefully. You know where
Mm-hmm.
your audience is. So it can, if you believe that your audience is more on LinkedIn, if you believe that your audience would like to prefer more video content rather than audio content. Okay, if you like, if you believe that your audience has more engagement with the emails especially. Okay, so when you know that your audience has that kind of flavor of attention, right? So it becomes easier for you. And to know that one thing you have to do is that you have to keep constantly engaged in your pre-event activities. So you
Mm-hmm.
have to ask them questions, you need to interact with them on whichever platforms they are convenient with. Okay, because see, finally we have to see their convenience, not our convenience. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to be there where your audience is. Okay, you need to understand what kind of content they are going to appreciate or receive in a positive way. So I think pre-engagement activities are going to be very key. Okay, you may run social media polls, you may do a video interaction with them, or you may have surveys. Okay, you may have emailers that talks about your
Mm-hmm.
event. Okay, so there are some different ways through which an organizer will catch up the kind of response that their audience has have for his or her event.
Mm-hmm. And I know that you think that post-event management is very important.
Yes, yes, yes. See, post-event management is basically to understand for an organizer how how well his event was appreciated. See, basically, the whole idea for a post-event engagement is to understand the basic uh, uh, objectives, the basic understandings, the basic tonality, the basics of the psyche of your audience. Okay, what kind of events they would like to interact. Okay, how was your event content? How was your event was well managed, well engaged? Okay, so there are lots of things that a post-event engagement activity can help an organizers to build a good event in the future. So he can take this feedback as a uh, you know as a part of his uh, management or event engagement, event orchestration process, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
because that's going to be the key. Because if you need to orchestrate your event, because see, I'm using this term event orchestration because I believe when you speak of event orchestration, you include everything, right? From content perspective, from engagement perspective, from experience perspective, from management perspective. Okay, and it includes both pre and post engagement activities, because your orchestration has to be good that way that you think of all the possible activities that you can do pre and post of your event.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay, and let's talk about the anticipation of virtual and physical events. What type of event do you prefer, virtual or in person?
See, I'm a big fan of in-person events. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big fan of. Yeah, okay, I can repeat this big, for thousands of times, because I'm really a big fan of in-person events, because I believe in-person events have that magic. See, because I'm a big fan of engagement, I'm a big
Mm-hmm.
fan of networking, I'm a big fan of the experience. Okay, and when we speak of engagement, when we speak of experience, when we speak of networking, and I always believe that the in-person events uh, are a little bit on the upper side,
Mm-hmm.
compared to virtual events. That's my personal opinion. Okay, but I know, I do believe that I know, considering the last 2 years, whatever has been happening, I believe yes, definitely, it will take some time to get the things back on track. Okay, and how but I'm very much sure that the person line, the people like me will would love to see the magic of in-person events rolling once again.
But do you visit virtual events?
I do visit virtual events. I have been a sponsor in a couple of virtual events as well. Okay, I have been organizes lots of webinars. Okay, so it's not like that. I don't like virtual events as such. However, the only thing I have always believed and experienced that uh, in whichever way you look at it, right? Because we are living in the digitized world. Okay, but as we are moving very closer towards the metaverse and everything of okay,
Mm-hmm.
I believe the real magic, the real experience of events will always with human connection, that is person to person contact.
Mm-hmm. And do you do you think that it will be possible in some years to create such experience in virtual reality?
Yeah,
Uh,
it will be definitely possible to replicate that events, but I believe that it will be a mix. as we are also going towards the hybrid model also. Okay, so I believe it will be a mix. Yes, and definitely, as you say that, that virtual events are always good, and they are going to do a very, very, very good, uh, um, exposure when it comes to, events. But I believe yes, certainly we will have to wait some more time, maybe in a couple of years time, where they will be able to replicate the magic of in-person events.
Mhm. Could you please describe how physical events will look like and virtual events too? What do you think will we see in 10 or 20 years, for example?
See, as we are steadily and aggressively moving towards the virtual world, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
believe yes, there will be lot of investments happening in the event tech. Okay, so we'll see a lot of platforms coming in. We'll see a lot of
Mm-hmm.
experiments happening to make the see, because the whole thing is that as an event organizer, everyone is trying to replicate, or will try to see how they can bring the real life experience to the virtual world, right? So there will be a lot of experiments happening. There will be a lot of investments happening. There will be a lot of innovations happening in the virtual world, to see that how good or the best event engagement or experience can be delivered in the virtual world. As far as the in-person events are concerned, I believe to match up with the speed of virtual world. Okay, in-person events will also accommodate lot of event technology,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we speak of event technology, it tries to accommodate and accumulate every possible thing that an organizer think from the engagement perspective or experience perspective. So it can be the way the content can be consumed. It can be way the to see how people can experiment, interact in real time. Okay, so I think the forte or the major focus will be on event technology and how it can be used in both in-person events and virtual events. So I believe that event technology is at the core
Mm-hmm.
of the events industry, to and to see how it can take both the in-person events and virtual events together hand in hand. And I think there will be a time where we see the a good combination happening between these two through event technology. So I think the value will always be with event technology now moving ahead.
Uh, and you are also the professional in branding.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, all the platforms suggest to brand your event, like
Yes.
add logo and branding colors. And what do you think is important in terms of branding for events and what is not? And maybe you can advise something unusual what organizers can add to their branding that make their events unique.
See, to make the event unique, the one thing that I have always believed that it's about your people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about your audience. Okay, so whichever way the event organizer can think of, to innovate the experience for their audience, the best way is to do is that to experiment with the content. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe end to end the event experience is more about how well is your content is appreciated, received in all sorts of format, right? So when we speak, let's say for example, when we speak of a day long event, right? So a day long event, to have the engagement, to have that experience throughout the day, it's very challenging for any organizer, because it's very hard to keep up that momentum and keep your audience engaged, right? So to come out of that or to tackle that, the best way is to see that how innovatively you can do with your content, be it in smaller formats, be it in larger formats, be it a use of technology. Okay, so the one thing that as an organizer that I have always learned that uh, especially because I have also done a day long events. So I have learned that the best way is to deliver that experience is keep your audience engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have short sessions. Okay, have lots of panel discussions of shorter durations. Have breaks in between. Increase audience engagement, increase audience participations. Okay, to see how well your content is consumed by the organizer. So I believe that the best way to innovate your event is to innovate your content. If you are innovating your content, if you are innovating the ways the content that can be the content presentation, content positioning, the more event experience or event engagement you can receive from your audience.
Mm-hmm. In terms of marketing channels, we can consider events as marketing channel.
Yes.
And mm, how do you think you said about lead generation and sales generation? And how do you think how effective are the events for lead generation, getting any for reaching any marketing goals or
Yes.
even sales goals? How effective is it? And especially as you prefer in-person events, how can offline events can be effective if we can't actually track the customer journey from
Yeah.
the event to the sale?
Traditionally events have always been the core at the lead generations, sales,
Mm-hmm.
creating sales pipelines, and networking. Okay, so if you look at the events that have been happening, in the past 10, 15 years, especially in different domains like marketing. Okay, especially
Mm-hmm.
into marketing events or okay IT events. So okay, you always see that even the bigger brands are have always preferred events as their preferred marketing channel. Okay, because the one thing that makes events special is that the turnaround time that it can have to close any lead or close any deal, right? Because people would like to connect with the decision makers who are
Mm-hmm.
speaking at the events, who are sponsoring the events, okay, who have stalls, booths, okay, who can speak of their technology, who can speak of their products and services. So events give them a larger platform which can immediately put them in front of their target audience. So it helps them saving them their marketing cost, lead generation cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sales cost also, because it reduces your sales life cycle, right? So events have always been at the core of the marketing perspective and to achieve the marketing goals. And the sponsorship that we have, why do people sponsor the events? For the first and most primary reason is that they would like to showcase their product and services in front of larger audience, okay, in front of their target market. Okay, that's why we have niche events, that's why we have very specialized events, like events that are very core to automotive, events that are very core to manufacturing, events that are very core to IT, events that are very core to digital marketing, okay, events that are very core to martech or fintech or health tech. Because the sole reason is that the provider will always like to have a platform where he can showcase the products and communicate directly with uh, his audience and can have exchange of ideas, right? So it's more about, there are certain ways, why people organize, become part of the events, because they become aware of what's happening into the market, what's the latest trend, what customer wants, what are their pain points, what kind of solutions are they looking into the market. So that's the main reason why, the tech companies, the solution providers, the service providers have always been keen on becoming part of the events, because they believe that, events is one platform where they will be able to know their customers very closely, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So events has always been, the core, when it comes to, lead generation, sales, and networking.
Give please one advice to the event organizers in 2022.
I think the one advice that I would like to have is that, uh, invest into audience engagement in whichever format you would like, be it from the content perspective, be it from the tech perspective. So keep your audience engagement at the forefront of your events objectives.